Hi, this is Clint Kearns with Church Choir Music, Acoustic Guitar Review, and the Play Guitar website. Now, one of the most frequently asked questions that I hear by beginning and even intermediate guitarists and musicians is, how do you know when to change chords, and how do you hear chord changes? Well, that's a very important subject, very good question, not just for the guitarist, but for all musicians. Now, the best way to hear chord changes is to recognize chord progressions. Now, it helps to understand a little bit of chord theory in the Nashville Numbering System. Without going into great detail or full explanation of the Nashville Numbering System, let me give you just a general overview. The Nashville Numbering System is probably the greatest thing that's ever been invented for the working musician. The Nashville Numbering System is a chord charting system that makes charting music and transposing keys easier and quicker. Now, with this system, the scale degrees of the major diatonic scale, the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do scale that every musician has heard, it's represented by numbers. Now, this is what we call a movable do system, in the sense that whatever key you're starting in becomes the root or the do, or in the case of the Nashville Numbering System, the 1. Now, the Nashville Numbering System, or the NNS as it is sometimes referred to, uses numbers to represent the different letters in the scale. Now, the major scale used in the Nashville Numbering System would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Now, again, the key that you're in will determine the position of the 1, thus dictating what the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, 6, and 7 are for that particular key. Let's take, for instance, the scale or the key of C. Has no sharps or flats, so the C scale is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Now, in the NNS, we would simply change these letters to numbers. Now, C is the first scale degree of the diatonic scale for the key of C. Now, the first tone of the scale is also called the tonic, because it's the tonal center, or the final resolution tone. The tonic tone is the pitch upon which all the other pitches in a specified key are referenced. So our tonic tone, or the first note of any given key, becomes the 1. Again, looking at the key of C, the notes in order are C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And since C is the first tone in the C scale, the second tone would be D, which would be our 2. E, which is the third tone, would be our 3. F, which is the fourth tone, would be our 4. G, the 5. A, the 6. And B, the 7. Now, most songs utilize 3 main chords: the 1, the 4, and the 5. Now, the 6 of the key is usually a minor chord, and it's also the relative minor. Every major key has a relative minor, and it's always the 6 of the scale. For instance, the key of G, it has 1 sharp, F sharp, so the G scale would be G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. So the 6, or the relative minor of the key of G, would be E minor. Now, to the subject of chord changes and chord progressions. A chord progression of 1, 4, 5 in the key of C is going to use the C chord, which is our 1, the F chord, which is our 4 because it's the 4th tone of the scale, C, D, E, F, and G, which is our 5. It's going to sound something like this. Notice that 1, 4, 5, 1. Now, listen to that chord progression, that chord change from the 1 to the 4, still in the key of C. There's 1, 4, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 4, 1. Now listen to that same progression, that 1, 4, 1. Listen to that same progression in the key of G. Here it is. 1, 4, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 4, 1. You hear that interval, that 1, 4 interval? that 1-4 interval is the same in every key, and it's the same using the 1, the 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5. Now, guitar players have an advantage over piano players. We can use a little device called a capo. So if you learn the 7 chords in the key of C, that's C, D, E, F, G, A, B. If you learn those 7 chords in the key of C and the 7 chords for the key of G, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. Now, if you learn those chords, if you learn those main chords in the key of C and those main chords in the key of G, then you, with the knowledge of those and just using a capo, you can play in just about any song, any key that you want to. So how do you know when to change chords, and how do you hear chord changes? Well, you have to listen. You listen and study those progressions. You learn what a 1 to a 4 progression sounds like. The key's not important at first. Just learn to identify those intervals from a 1 to a 4, from a 1 to a 5, from a 1 to a 2 passing to the 5. And if you'll learn and study those intervals, those progressions, then you can sit down and listen to a song that you've never heard before, chart that song using the Nashville Numbering System, turn around and with very little practice, play that song like you've played it all your life. This is Clint Kearns for ChurchChoirMusic.com, AcousticGuitarReview.com, and Play Guitar website. Till next time, keep on picking.